So what is visual analytics? Visual analytics, as I'm sure this is the most common subject which has the most familiarity in terms of analytics with everyone out there. I'm sure like a lot of people know about BI, a lot of people know about dashboarding, charts, all the data storytelling and so on. But the idea again is it's not about obviously it's about storytelling, it's about the dashboard, but the idea is itself to gain some meaningful insights from the data, and that's where we tend to think and build our product so that it can help our customers to build their own solutions or products, right? So that's the idea. So it's all about being smart, being collaborative, being configurable, and obviously the user experience has to be beautiful and immersive in that overall sense, and that's what we provide in a very simple box. And using that, there are a lot of use case which banking organization actually helps with. So to start with, right, we recently added a capability for NLQ. So natural language query is something where we allow the end user to just type and get the answers for whatever you are typing in a very visual format. So if you want to know something, how many trade has happened over last 24 hours, how much today, how much transaction happened today in your retail banking environment, or how many insurance we have sold in a particular zip code or in a particular city, you can get all of that information just by typing it rather than looking at some charts or graphs. So that's what we tend to do with natural language query. This is very very cool, and it's actually taking the BI to a new level of self-serviceness where end users can actually ask question and get answers to the question itself, right? Next obviously is for a lot of the executives out there, I'm sure, right, the biggest concern is to have those high level pictures or high level information of the business, how the business is going. So in general, how the business is going, how the revenue is progressing, if there are specific cash flow, if there is like how is my how are my margins going on, what is the net interest income on my total portfolio, how is my asset under management doing with respect to a lot of the other competition or the indexes in general, how is my insurance business going in general, and what is my like how is my utilization of the resources. So all of those key critical aspects which matter to business, right, and that's what we try to cover with CXO dashboards. These are very critical. Again, we work with a lot of organizations, especially organizations which get data from multiple places, right? So you might have a setup where you might be receiving the data from multiple the subdivisions or sub branches. If it is not all centralized, it can be the case, right? We still see, we work with a lot of institutions like central banks where we get data from multiple banks, and then we need to basically project it for risk analysis or for high level KPI information for central banks to take decisions, right? So that's the kind of thing you might want to think about when you are thinking about dashboard. It's not always about just getting the output, but how you basically orchestrate that entire process of getting the data from multiple places, putting that up together in a single place, and then visualizing it. That's actually the harder part than building the dashboard most of the times, and we do all with our visual analytics suits very easily. So that's again a very very critical things for banking, to basically look at high level and say that how is my business going on. And again, it's applicable to insurance, banking, financial services company, all equally. I'm sure a lot of you guys might already be doing it, but how you can do more kind of things, right? For example, how you can how you can analyze what your market share kind of an analysis is, right? So if you are dealing with a particular market, you might want to know in which geography, how good you are doing compared to the rest of others, right? So you might want to do some market share analysis so that you know that where you can sell more and where you can sell less. You want to understand how your people are actually selling. If you are especially in insurance, if you are in financial services, how your people are selling based on different geography. So you can have that information at country level. So this is like, if you imagine, this is like at the entire state levels of the country, and again you can go to any state and see who is performing how and how they are doing actually, so that the rest of them can be motivated, and how they can run around more businesses in different ways. So that's the kind of analysis you might want to do. Again, you can go more drill down. Again, this is like how you can select few geographies and basically look at those information. You can actually go a deep one level down and see at the city levels also, which I'll show you in the next slide. But the idea itself is to understand how you are selling in a particular geography or a location, and compare it with the basket or the market share, and try to analyze where you have more growth, right? Just looking at the state or the country level data is good, but going down detail to the zip code level is something which will give you benefit, because if you target more specific, you will get more specific results, and that's the advantage we want you to get with looking at the details of even at the customer level, right? How the customers are performing in a particular geography. And I'll talk about this more in predictive analytics, because how you can use predictive analytics to basically identify in a particular geography what are the kind of patterns that your model is able to find, and then apply it to basically do more cross sell and upsell. And as I said, I'll talk more about it in predictive analytics part as well. Yeah. So again, the other type of analysis is, because a lot of the organizations work with giving the credit, right? So the loan analysis is very important. And again, here, especially NBFCs and the likes of the banks, right? All are into it, where they lend to a lot of their customers, or even to industries, right? As they are lending, they need to understand where the problems, try to understand as early as they can where they are seeing the problem. So they need to understand if there's a correlation between the geography or a particular type of lending they are doing, or by a type of customer segment which is giving them issues, right? And the more early they are able to detect those kind of things, the better it is for them. And again, when you are doing this kind of analysis, you might want to mix it up with like the collateral you have. So for example, even if something is going bad, you might want to run some simulation or do what if analysis in a way that if even if my X percentage of things goes for toss, how much I can recover back, or how can I reposition back my by selling of the assets under the guarantee I have, or without the guarantee as well, right? So it's basically try to run some simulation, try to do some analysis within the visual analytics aspects of the things, by setting up few parameters, by doing that what if analysis, by changing different scenarios. We even do like a lot of, if a customer has a requirement, we even run Monte Carlo kind of simulation to detect a lot of the simulation, or to do a lot of the simulation over the same set of data, to basically get you that kind of uh, to cover the various scenarios that you can look at, right, when you are doing this analysis. And again, this is very critical for companies involved in giving credit, especially non-banking financial sectors and banking uh, there. Again, I was telling about the geo-analytics, right? How you can operationally make it more efficient. So this is like, as I was saying, so you can actually look at the data at maybe at the states level. You can go into the county level, and again, you can go one more level to the district level. And the colors you are seeing here, the red ones are basically the ones which are giving you more problems. The green ones are more where or the lighter ones are the ones where you are getting more benefit out of things, right? And the same, you can see the information at the county level, and as I was saying, the same you can see the information at the state level. So the idea is basically, and again, you can go to the customer level also if you want. So you can go one more level down and say that I want to look at customer details. So that's the kind of holisticness we are talking about, to go from the country level to state level to district level to your customer level, and then try to visualize what is happening. So, and if you build this kind of a tool and give it to your relationship managers, they can actually look at this information and try to identify where problem is happening and where problem is not happening. And they won't have to do anything to get this thing ready, right? Because this all things can be managed centrally through a central data source, by building the this kind of smart visualizations on top of it. So it's really cool. It's really good the way things can be done in this particular aspect. Yeah. The next is, because obviously like a lot of the, again, in operational improvement, right, a lot of the banks and again in BFCs have a lot of processes, so it's important to understand those processes independent of the tools you are using for processes, right? So you might want to have like a place where you can actually get the process data, try to analyze it, what is happening in each step of the process, where things are getting stuck, where things are getting passed smoothly, which one is taking the most amount of time. Because the more operationally efficient you are, the lesser your turnaround time would be for a lot of the things, and the more efficient you can be in your overall operations by obviously saving cost, by able to serve customer in a much better way, right? So that's where we do a lot of process analysis. You can build this kind of charts within our visual analytics tool very easily, and that's the kind of advantage you get by putting it something like a process map inside your visualization. Again, like a lot of the finance team want to do the expense analysis, how the spend is happening in each department, be it whether they are spending on the travel or on the softwares or on the like commodities, right? What kind of and if there are any outliers, you can basically see them, visualize them very easily in your charts, graphs, KPIs, and you can see all the high level KPIs again on a dashboard like this. So again, very important for, I think, for everyone, every organization, not just in banking finance, but for everyone. Post trade analysis, this is again very famous things, especially with the financial services group. Again, applicable to everyone. A lot of bankings, a lot of the teams need to do reconciliation. A lot of the effort goes into the book closure, the end-to-end financial reporting kind of a thing, right? So we have like a framework where you can actually get data, like as I said, right, trade management, risk management, trade compliance. You can get all of the data in a single place, see whether if there are any outliers or not. So and if you have like other kind of data, you'll put into it if there are any business rules or trade policies, you can actually see them being highlighted in a dashboard, so that if there are any issues, they get highlighted as soon as they can, rather than you waiting for the for the entire reporting to happen next day or some other day. You can actually do it in almost a real time kind of a fashion. So that's again very critical use case where a lot of visual analytics is done. The cool thing about our visual analytics is we do support of uh, running of the historical data which is residing in your database, and also the running data. Some of the data, like, so you get a lot of the trade data, right? You get a lot of the transactions. We have capability to basically hook our visualization engine to your real-time system, so that they can visualize things in real time as things are happening. And that is something I'll show in the demo also, which is very cool, because you start seeing the historical information as well as the real-time information in one single place. And that's a kind of system which is really cool thing for a lot of the organization, which can help you detect problems, which can help you upsell more, which can help you increase your operational efficiencies in multiple manner. So that is very strong capability we have with our visual analytic tool, and again I'll show that in the demo as well, and I'm sure you all will like that particular thing. Yeah. The last is a lot of the people wants to do reporting. So financial reporting is again very critical part. We have like the capability to build those pixel perfect reports, and those reports can be generated and sent automatically to thousands and thousands of users if you want. And it can be like very automated process, the entire thing of generating those financial reports and those regulatory report as you might think. So be it you want to release something in a document format, RTF, or even JSON or XML files, those can be generated very easily and sent to the people, like your regulatory or for the compliance purpose, or to your shareholders kind of a thing in a very simple manner. So this is again very important use case for building reports or visualization. Yeah, so this covers the visualization part. The story is like any kind of visualization or building the visual apps, we can actually do it, starting from basic reporting, KPI, dashboard, to even visualizing things in real time. We even have a mobile app which you can use to visualize important KPIs, especially your executives would want to see that those important KPIs on their mobile, because they might not have time to see it on laptops, so or your screens. So they might want to see it on mobile apps, which we do support, and it's available. It can run in your secure environment of in a very secured environment as well. So that's even not a problem. We have a lot of customers using it in like, and a lot of executors especially want that kind of functionality these days.